Friends, welcome into another edition of Deportes Nation. I'm Alex Parra, with me Victor Araiza, Shell Energy Stadium. Game number 2 of the regular season for the Houston Dynamo FC. And no points today. A disappointing performance by Ben Olsen's team. He said it. These are opportunities that we can't miss.
It's a tough start, especially with last week, the 1-1 draw against Sporting Kansas City. Those were 2 points dropped, and now here you got a 3 for 5. But, you know, obviously as a combination of this is the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They've advanced in that competition. It's a reason why the schedule is more congested and why it's, getting harder here with these points. I think it's costing them in that sense. But, this was expected here.
Well, let's balance that out. Obviously, today the team got out to a good start. They were winning 1-0 going into the break.
They did. That was a great start.
And there was a great start. So what happened? What changed from your perspective, Victor, that had them then get tied up and then get down 2-1 and then chase the game?
Well, it's not a surprise. Ben Olsen likes to play a defensive system, and with that defensive system, sometimes, and we see in the last year, they've gotten up on teams 1-0. They try to defend that result, and in this case, it's tough to defend it for about 60 minutes,
sure,
which is what they try to do here after that alley-oop goal. I mean, for the part of the first half, in the first half, you saw the Dynamo pinned back in their own half of the field. It's tough to go at games like that. The Red Bulls eventually, after you invite them to attack, got on the board. They tied it, and then they eventually in the second half got the game winner. Houston could never reignite that attack. I think they tried to make some changes. We saw that Brad Smith coming off the bench, Franco Escobar coming off the bench, just wasn't enough to get to get back into equalizing this game, but more importantly to get to 3 points. And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote for this match. Now, obviously, the team still has the competitions you spoke about. Let's quickly talk about the attendance. Again, empty seats today, less than the home opener. Things aren't getting better when you're not picking up points at home and when you're not filling up the stadium. Is that fair?
Well, and part of it might be, Hector Araiza is not part of this team right now. You don't have a star player that will attract the fans to come out. One, because of the name recognition. In particular, the Mexican fans with Herrera.
Sure.
The other one, obviously, being the playing style. We heard the term Joga Benito to describe this Olsen attacking style. Well, that doesn't exist when Herrera's not on the field, not as much. It doesn't have as much creativity. I think it doesn't have players that can get you a big singular moment, and that's where the result just didn't come tonight. On the other hand, you saw it with the Red Bulls. They went out and got a player like Emil Forsberg, and he was a big ignition for them, I think, if we compare those two.
Leadership, ability, and without a doubt, confidence that the Red Bull team certainly needed. As we wrap up from Shell, what's next for the team? Getting ready now for the second round, or round of 16, correct? In
right.
The CCC, as I call it, CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Well, they've gone in on this competition. They advanced, so they'll have those 2 games, the first and the second leg. They won't have an MLS match next week. They'll be off. So they'll actually be able to focus in here in this brief period on the CONCACAF Champions Cup against the Columbus Crew. That'll be a tough test. They'll come here Wednesday. The Dynamo will get a week's rest before going up there on Tuesday. So that's their next test, and obviously a lot of rotation here going on with this team.
Yeah.
A lot was said maybe by the fans about the lack of depth that this team has. Well, now it's being put to the test.
Home games, those are the opportunities to pick up points after 2 to start of the 2024 season. Houston with only 1 point. So from Shell Energy Stadium, Victor, Alex, thanks for joining us here on another edition of Deportes Nation.